Well, hi, everybody. This is Dear Mama Sal, and we are live on a Friday lunchtime, which means it's time for us to talk about coping with feelings. And I hope you're feeling great. That would be my number one wish for you all. I really have had an interesting week this week, and when I sat down and thought, what is the one feeling that I've had? I had to say that I felt naughty. And I'm going to explain to you why as we carry on. And by the way, it said that being naughty makes life fun, a lot more fun. And I wonder how many of you agree with that. Um, the whole thing, for those of you who don't know, Dear Mama Sal's not just me, it's a group of us who get together 3 times a week to hold each other's hands while we go through life, whatever life may bring us. And boy, has it brought us a lot over the years. And so it is my absolute pleasure every week to um, meet up with the same sort of group of people and we discuss what's going on for us and the hope that it may help you cope with whatever it is you're going through. And hi there to Jody, our admin, and to Jeannie, our backup admin for today. I really want to thank you for being here and supporting us. I want to say that this whole week, as I said, it's felt a bit naughty. But before I get on to that, I wanted to make sure that you know um, that we have. Do we have any birthdays this week? Let's have a look here. Got a feeling. Today would be. I think today is Boston Paul's birthday, but I could be wrong on that one. Hmm, that would be interesting for those of you who go that far back. Um, and we know this week we had Jodie's birthday early on, and of course it is. Oh, sorry, it's not. It's the 12th. Yeah, wrong day. What I was going to say was that it's also, of course, Good Friday for those of you who celebrate that, and so. Um, I wonder how they ever came up with it being Good Friday when it's such a sad day for a lot of people. Um, does anybody know why was it called Good Friday as opposed to Sad Friday, for example? It's a I have no idea, and I couldn't help but wonder um, why that came up. And of course, for those of you celebrating Passover, and there's probably something else I've forgotten on that score as well. So, a very happy Easter weekend for all of you who like Easter eggs as well as celebrate it for religious reasons. I personally have asked, Yvonne's coming on Monday, and she said, can I bring anything? I said, no, rather that um, I'd appreciate it if you don't bring chocolate. And I promise I haven't bought you any either. And, that was, I thought that was interesting. Thank you, Jody. Jody's saying the term good, as applied to Good Friday, is an old English expression meaning holy. That makes much more sense to me. Why don't we call it Holy Friday? That makes a lot more sense to me. Thank you, Jody. I don't know why I've never asked that question before. And, as usual, you come up with a very good answer. So, um, what I wanted to let you know was we've had a lot of action in my community here. Um, two homes went up for sale in my section of my community, and they both sold overnight. Scary. And I say scary because it was just like, and they both sold for more than they asked for overnight. Literally within 24 hours, they were gone. And that tells me a lot about how desperate people are to find somewhere to live these days. That's interesting. Jody's saying that I think, going back to Good Friday, I think perhaps it was because the Thursday of Holy Week is referred to as Holy Thursday. And so they called it Good Friday to differentiate it, do you think? Is that the point? I want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. Anyway, so let's go on to our subject of today. First of all, any I'd like to give thoughts and prayers for anybody who might need them. I did hear from Kim, and Kim said that her specialist said that the pacemaker is okay. It all appears to be working properly, and what they think the symptoms she's having are from stress rather than the pacemaker, and so they've advised her to lower her stress dramatically. So let's send her our thoughts and prayers. And she did give me permission to talk about it on the broadcast. So let's send us our thoughts and prayers to her, and hope that she just, takes it down a notch. I like this quote. It said, "Be classy with a bit of crazy and a lot of naughty." So when I had a look at hang on a second. When I had a look at what exactly was naughty, in terms of a definition, I was quite surprised at what I got back. Just hold on a second, because I've done the usual. I've pressed the wrong button with my fat fingers here. I'll get back there. Come on now. Thank you. And this is what I found out. So what does it mean to feel naughty? It said, not behaving properly, mischievous, or disobedient. Have any of you ever had a week like that, where you were not behaving properly? So that makes me think, I don't know about you guys, but that makes me think that somewhere or another my inner child had control this week, right? Because I wouldn't feel naughty unless that inner child had been rising to the top a bit, because normally I don't feel like I'm behaving improperly, or I don't feel actually I feel mischievous, yeah, quite often. Disobedient, that's something that refers to children more than adults. So I spent a bit of time when I was writing this broadcast just understanding what I was going through. So why did I not feel, by the way, have any of you ever had a week like that where you felt, your child had taken control rather than your adult? And so I tried to think about what was it that I had done this week that made me feel that I hadn't behaved properly, or what had I done that made me feel mischievous, or why did I feel so disobedient? And in a nutshell, this week consisted of two things for me: rest and exercise, and then more rest, and then more exercise. And so I got very little else done. And I know that those of you who know that I'm on this journey with cancer, I know that a lot of you probably are saying, but that's okay, Sal. That's what you're meant to do. Your body is healing. Your body is fighting this new medication they've given you and all the rest of it, and you're bound to feel tired. But it's just like, hello, it's been 2 months now, and I think it has. Mid-February, mid-March, mid-April. We're in just about 2 months. And it's just like, my body should, there's a good word, be used to it by now. But apparently it isn't. And I had a really tired week. And so it was a really strange sort of feeling. Acceptance means that for now, this is the situation. This moment requires me to do. And so I will do it willingly. How many of you know that doesn't come willingly with me somehow, to rest and sleep? It's just like it is. And for those of you struggling with illnesses, I can't think that I'm alone in this. That some of you must have felt this as well. Prince Harry said, I sometimes still feel like I'm living in a goldfish bowl. and now I manage it better. I have a naughty streak too, which I enjoy, and it's how I relate to those individuals who have got themselves into trouble. And for all of you who've got that naughty streak, I'm sure that you can relate to that. So I did very little this week, literally. And here are some of the things I didn't do. um, because that's the only way I could, sometimes you've got to look at the negative to see the positive of it, right? So I didn't do any decluttering. How about the rest of you? And I felt like I was letting down the decluttering team because I wasn't setting that role model. And I'm certain they'll forgive me. But I also know that I'm going to need their support to be able to go back to it. Sorry, I'm going to have another hot flush thing going. That's part of this medication does this to me. Oh, and you get to see the new top. So, yeah. So I need to get the decluttering done because my decluttering project is to get this trellis that I'm making out of the house. But that requires that I finish making it. But I'm probably about, I would think about 2/3 there. So a little bit of effort will get it done. And I can see that, and I just need to make that time. That's basically what it is. I didn't clean the house well this week. Jody's saying, I think you've accomplished quite a bit. You took care of your body. You balanced rest with intentional exercise. I'm proud of you. Well, thank you, Jody. But I think you know me well enough to know that that didn't feel like I was doing the right thing somehow. So I didn't clean the house particularly well this week. So it's a little bit more messy than usual, which affects my mood. How about you guys? I've always said to people, if you want to know how I'm doing, check my house to see how tidy it is. If it's tidy, I'm doing really well. If it's a little bit sort of lived in, I think that's the word, then that is another thing. Hi there. Who have I got here? Muffin. Hi, Muffin. Good to meet you. Um, the other thing is, I didn't buy my groceries online this week. Now, why did I change that? I decided to get in the car and go drive to a local store and do my groceries in person. Very dangerous, by the way. Now, funny enough, I spent less than I would normally spend, which is unusual because I had all that stuff that was there to tempt me. But I did get things that I shouldn't have bought. For example, I think they're called Napoleons in America. There was a very nice little package of 2. They made it home, but only just, but they didn't make it through the first hour of being home. And I don't mean one, I mean they both were inhaled within the first hour of my being home. And then I also saw hot cross buns. I mean, how can you do Easter without hot cross buns was my thought. So the good news is I got them home, and good news is I've managed to limit myself to one a day. And at the moment, so I've had 2. And the rest are sitting in the freezer. So I have to actually get them out of the freezer and defrost them to eat them, which I'm hoping will sort of delay the time. But, they are really very tasty. What do they make the cross on hot cross buns with? Hi, Jeannie. Jeannie's saying her dining room table is all set for Easter dinner. Obviously, you've got people coming for Easter dinner. And what day are you doing that on? Easter Sunday? Yeah, I want to tell you, Jody, whatever they used on my hot cross buns, it wasn't icing. It wasn't icing as we know it anyway. So I saw this quote and it says, sometimes being naughty, and sometimes being simple, and sometimes being girly, and sometimes being dirty, and sometimes being bold, and sometimes being tough. And all these are colors of mine, but I still can't understand the reason of fear. I thought that was so delightful to think that we all go through that, right? We have sort of naughty days and simple days and fun days, and it's okay to feel that way. So Jeannie's all set up for Sunday dinner at 4 p.m. Yeah, that's what I wondered, whether it was going to be on Sunday. I know that Yvonne's coming on Monday because we need to do all those measurements. For those of you who don't know, after you've had a mastectomy, where they chopped off a boob, then every month you have to measure uh, to make sure that your arm is not increasing exponentially. And the reason for that is something called lymphoderma, about which Jody knows a great deal. At the moment, any increase that I've had has been equal on the other side, which means that I've put on weight rather than that I've got a problem in this arm. So I'm looking at them now and I'm going, it'll be interesting to see whether I have. So Jeannie's having baked ham with raisin sauce, asparagus, mashed potatoes, and stuffing. That sounds absolutely wonderful. So how many of you know that every now and then it's really good to do some things that you shouldn't do? I think it's good for the soul. So when I got home, I was quite amazed how guilty I felt about having bought stuff that I wouldn't normally buy. For example, the Napoleons, which I didn't have any proof of for very long, and also the, hot cross buns. But boy, they tasted so good. So I didn't find my phone this week. Have you ever had one of those? Came back from shopping and then went, where's my phone? And I sort of scoured I'm certain you guys have had a day like this. So I scoured the house for the phone, couldn't find it. Did it a second time in reverse, couldn't find it. Then obviously picked up my landline, which I still have, and then phoned my phone and couldn't find it. And then my heart sank because that meant I had either left it in the grocery cart, and it'd be very unusual for me to put it in a grocery cart, but that's the only thing I could think of. Or did I put it down when I was putting the stuff onto the checkout thing? And there was a guy there telling very inappropriate jokes, about blonde jokes. Obviously of that age where he thought that was funny, until I told him, I used to be blonde. And then he sort of, did a double take, but it was funny. All right, so here we go. Muffin saying, it's easy to feel guilty about it. Sometimes it's hard to know if it's okay to allow yourself goodies from time to time. Well, Muffin, thank you for relating to that, because, that's what I felt was like, yeah, it's easy, and Jody reminded me, it's okay. And I think Lauren as well, it's okay to go off grid a bit, over high days and holidays. So, and Jody's saying she's left, she's left her phone all over New Hampshire. Jody, before I forget, there is something about Medicaid or Medicare and New Hampshire that I heard in my sleep last night. I keep my television on, and somewhere in there I heard something, and it affected people in New Hampshire. And I wasn't awake enough to understand all that it was, but you may want to check into that. How many of you think that maybe doing some things that you shouldn't do is good for the soul? When I say shouldn't do, but how many of you find that when you do something that's a bit childish, you feel better? My big battle, of course, was to not feel that I was being lazy. So here I was, and I still hadn't found the phone. So I thought, well, I will phone the grocery store and see if they found it. And then for some reason, I couldn't get through. So I went, okay, I need to get in the car and go back there. And I am pretty certain that a lot of you will relate to the fact that I was beating up on myself and said, how can I be so stupid? So, and Jody, that makes me laugh. Jody's saying she's going to check out what I was telling her about. She said, leave it to you to even be looking after me while you were sleeping. Yeah, true. Yeah, that makes me cry. But yes, it woke, I was awake enough to hear it. I was awake enough to say to myself, I've got to remember that. And we found out that Muffin lives in Massachusetts. So welcome. So another one from that part of the world. All right. So I got back to the store and I was about to take my key out of the ignition, and something caught my eye, and what had happened was the phone had dropped out of my pocket and slid between my seat and my console, obviously on the original trip home. So I went, whew. The relief was unbelievable. So then I wasn't beating up on myself so much. I just felt, okay, fine. Maybe I don't know why the universe needed me to do 2 trips, maybe charge up my battery in my car or whatever. So there we are. So I found my phone. I felt very much better for that. I didn't do any creative work all week. None. Oh, I lie. I guess. I'm just looking there and I'm going, that was creative. This is, remember Wade and Yvonne came and he bought me some more microgreens. And this is what broccoli looks like after a week of growing. Isn't that interesting? The interesting thing I love about it is they keep moving towards the light. And I just turned them around because they were all facing that way. So I put them this way so they'll go towards the light there, which will help strengthen up their stems. And for those of you who want to know about that, I found out that microgreens are 150% more nutrient than lettuce. So now I make my own microgreens, sprouted seeds and things to have in my pita rather than lettuce. And what I found is it saves me on lettuce, but it also saves me on cucumber. I would normally use either lettuce or cucumber. So it's actually saved me money at the same time, which is interesting. So I haven't started the radishes. He bought me 2 lots of radishes. Now, what I'm scared about is, and this is why I'm doing the trial run with the broccoli, I didn't use all the broccoli seed. I used about 1/4 of a packet, I think. But isn't that amazing how well it's grown in a week? So I'm pretty certain it's going to need another week before it's ready to be in my my pita. But isn't that, they look good, don't they? And I'm thinking I might even put some of them in the garden because obviously they enjoyed growing in that mixture, whatever that is. Oh, so Muffin's saying that she always wondered about microgreens. What did you wonder about them? And by the way, Muffin, if you can let us know, what sort of age group are you in? Are you an old fart like me, or maybe a younger person? Let us know because that helps us paint the picture of how to relate to you. How about this one? I'm not sure who said this. I was naughty. I wasn't bad. Bad is hurting people and doing evil. Naughty is not hurting anyone. Naughty is being amusing. Ah, she's in her 30s. Okay, excellent. So what about microgreens? What have you wondered about them? What I'm busy doing is making small shifts towards better health. And that is one of the things that I have shifted. Move away from just lettuce and and eat microgreens instead. And the other thing that I found, Muffin, is every now and then when I feel I want something, a taste in my mouth, really more than anything. Oh, it's my coffee. I will just choose some. 150%, I found out, more nutrient. Hang on, got to get my coffee. So now I've got to swallow it. So that is, it's like, why buy lettuce when you can grow your own micronutrients? And by the way, do you want to see how to grow them, Muffin? Just so that you have that knowledge. It's really very simple. You need to buy something that normally is packaged as sprouting seeds. If you don't want to mix all your own seeds together. So they actually make packages of sprouting seeds, which is a really good place to start. And then okay. All right. So may I repeat that for the replay, Muffin? What you just wrote? You're new to the broadcast, so I would like to make sure that that's okay. Dum 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 dum. Thank you. All right. So what Muffin said, and I think it's a lot of us can relate to that. I've been up and down with a battle with weight loss over the years. I've been trying to live a healthier life. You and I both. Okay. So here's what you do. I actually got mason jars with these special lids on them. Can you see that? They got like a sieve lid, and they're made for this specific purpose. And what you do, really difficult, you hack some seeds in like that. Okay, and I would say it's about a teaspoon, and then put some water in, slush it around, and then turn it upside down, let it drain, and then knock the seeds around so that they stick along the edges. Get the idea? And after a few days, you will end up with, can you see those seeds are sprouting? So this is what I call my mid section stuff. And if you knock the jar, okay, they clump together like that. Okay. So then what I do is I put the clumps into a final one. All right. And so these are the ones that are ready to eat, and underneath are the ones that are just about ready to eat. Got it? So by the time I've used these, the ones underneath will be ready to eat. So, oh, wrong top. So I will leave these to keep on growing. In a couple of days, they'll be ready to move over. And then I will move, in a couple of days, these will be ready to go to the medium one. Now, you don't have to do it this way. And you can just buy the lids alone if you want to, just so they fit on a wide mouth mason jar. Okay. But that's all I do. And I've been doing that, Jody, how long? A couple of months now? And all I do is every once a day, I just put water in all of them and slush it around so that they've always got moisture. I don't know if you're a gardener of any sort, but that's basically all you need to do. Slush it around, turn them upside down, drain them, and then wait until the next day and do the same again. Makes sense, I hope? Yeah, I think it's been a couple of months that I've been doing it. So I guess that was creative, to be fair to myself. Um, but, not a whole lot. And then I had to remind myself something that I was pretty certain you guys would tell me, which was it absolutely okay for me to take a week and do nothing but rest and exercise, or basically nothing more than that? And I was pretty certain that you would probably say yes. And was it really being naughty, or was it just what my body needed and I was listening to my body? And then, as usual, I had to remind myself this is my life, and what I do with it is my choice. I'm retired. I don't have to go to work. Thank goodness. I don't know how people deal with what I'm dealing with and go to work. It's just beyond me. But I know people do. But then I sort of said, am I being fair to myself? Did I really do nothing? All right. It felt like I'd done nothing, but was that true? No, it wasn't true. Hang on a second. I worked really hard with my dumbbells. These are 2-pound dumbbells. And I found a program online which shows you how to use, different dumbbell routines. And I did those at least 3 times. All right. I was proud of that. And by the way, I was quite surprised that even though the physio had said to me that I was surprisingly strong for somebody who'd just gone through a mastectomy, I was really delighted that I could do these things, right? Look at that. So I'm continuing to do that. Jeannie's saying, if your body dictates that, then it's fine. Yes, that's what I had to realize as well. So I was really proud of being able to do the dumbbell routine. And that I'd got 2-pound weights in there. And I was almost at the stage where I thought, I'm nearly thinking about putting more weight on there. But I thought, no, let me keep this weight for April. And then maybe in May, I will add some more weight in there. So I'd be able to take it up from 2 pounds to 3 pounds. And that was pretty good. I did work on my steps because I wanted to bring those up, if possible, closer to 7 or 8,000 steps a day. I was doing 10, as you know, and so I've done quite well. I'm not quite sure how well. Let me have a look here. Let me see. Let me be honest about this. Yeah, since Sunday, I did 7,700 on Sunday, 10,400 on Monday, 9,700 on Tuesday, 6,300 on Wednesday. I did 8,300 yesterday. So as you can tell, I'm definitely doing better, and I'm happy about that. And I know that that's what I need. What I did, and that did surprise me. Some of you remember that I was doing We Fit, WII, We Fit Pro, and it has a section in it, a yoga thing, but it also has what they call a balance test, where you stand on a special board, and it decides how centered you are. Now, when I Let me show you this. When I first got that program 2 years ago, remember after the fire, that's what I did when I was in lockdown. If this is the center point, I spent a lot of time, this is ideal. I spent a lot of time about here, all right? Slightly to the left, I was putting more weight to the left and slightly off center. What amazed me was, you all know I've been doing this walking program, walking in place, watching while I binge watch or while I'm playing games. And I did a test and I was almost exactly perfect. I think it was 1 degree off one way and 1 degree off the other. And that's all. So my balance looks like that. So I can only think the only thing that I've done is the walking program. So for those of you who don't think that walking in place at home, and I literally mean going like this. I don't take my feet off the ground. I literally just walk like this. All right, while I'm binge watching. So I'd love to show you I've lost weight this week, but I haven't. I put weight on. But then I was pretty sure the kind people that are my viewers would say, but Sal, you're building muscle. Now, I'm not sure what the reason is. And by the way, that was put on weight before the Napoleons and the hot cross buns. But, we'll work on that. So I kept up my average of walking. And then I also did my air glider, right? For those of you who know, I bought an air glider about a year ago, I think. And I don't do a lot on it, but it is interesting to work on it because it really works your legs. And what I like about it is you can just air glide like this, but what I do is I do about 20 just air gliding like this. Now my feet are going at the same time, but then I do 20 where I really push. I really push the one leg out and hold it. All right, and then I push the other leg out and hold it. I do 10 of those, and then I do 20 regular again. And I can feel that it's really doing a great job on my legs. Yeah, I can feel muscles that haven't worked for a long time being forced to work. Yeah, Jeannie's saying eating fish this week, she's having haddock, leads to less calories. Yeah, absolutely. I've had little to no potatoes this week. No, I was being naughty, wasn't I? I think I had a potato this week. It's unusual. All right, so then what else have I done? Let me think about this. So I worked on my air glider. Can you all understand why pushing that resistance and pushing your leg right out stretches? If you imagine trying to do it, let me try and think what it does. It definitely stretches here. It definitely stretches here, and it stretches your butt. No. Yeah. You in order to hold that, you have to use your butt muscles, glutes, I think. And so that's been interesting. I've been doing that for about what I do is I do one day where I do the walking and stuff. And the next day I've been doing air glider and what else? Oh, I've been doing those exercises, getting down on kneeling next to my bed and then getting up again. And it was really interesting because one day, it must have been Tuesday. I had to go under my bed for something, and I was amazed. I got it, and then I got straight up off the floor, and that was amazing. Now, have any of you seen that wall yoga stuff? I thought, well, maybe I need to try that. But the biggest problem for me is getting down onto the ground. That's difficult for me because of how many muscles are weak. But, I decided the bedroom is a good place to do it, because if I do it close to my bed, I know I can use the bed to get up again if I need to. So that's a safe place to do it. So I thought I'd try it. That was my achievement of the week, if you like, to try something new. It's always good to try something new every week. So that was my new thing. Can I do it? So I put some big pillows down on the ground, and then the idea is, let me try and explain this. If this is your wall, the idea is that you lie here and you, with your butt on the floor, right, and your back on the floor, and then you put your feet up the wall. And the idea is to shorten the distance here so that you're absolutely against the wall and your feet are straight up. Now, I'm sure you don't need to know, or you're not going to be surprised to hear, I was not able to do that. But every journey starts with the first step. So what I was able to do was to get my butt close enough to be able to do that. And what I will do is each time is I will try and take another little step up and then shifting my butt in a bit more. But it was interesting how those muscles in my back obviously have had a problem. You remember I said to you, I noticed that getting up off the floor is a problem because all the muscles down the front of my leg, these and those, and the front of my foot seem to have shrunk. And so I'm busy learning how to re-stretch those. So then I realized, and so have my back muscles. So one step at a time. And Muffin's saying, I had too many carbs this week. Need more greens next week. Yeah, more greens and more water. Jody always tells me that, water is a really good thing to add. Just so you know, Muffin, I was diagnosed with diabetes 6 years ago, and Jody taught me how to eat so that I could control my diabetes without needing to go on medication. It was absolutely amazing. Yeah, so just work on taking in more water. If that's all that you do, it'll be a good thing to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you do nothing else, drink more water. And the other thing that Jody always tells me is if ever you have anything that's carby, and then to follow it with something that is protein. In other words, a boiled egg or some nuts or something like that. Does that make sense? And I must admit, that's what I do, and that's kept me under control it hasn't kept my weight under control. What it's done is kept my blood sugar under control, which is really good. So then I sort of looked at my week and said, well, did I have any joy? What about you guys? Did you have any joy this week? Yeah, I know. We're full of useless information here, Muffin. Oh, here's something else I did this week. All right. If you do nothing else, here's an idea. When I come to the kitchen, I actually do press-ups against my countertop, right? Like this. And the reason I recommend it is one thing I learned from the physio is these muscles, chest muscles, are the ones that we end up not using a lot and we end up hunched. So it's really important to do anything like that. But what I do is I go back a step, okay? Back 2 steps. And now I've got a different angle. And so now I can really feel it at the back of my legs. Okay, I can't get as far down yet, but you can probably see I can do it. Make sure you got good shoes on that hold, that you're not going to slip when you're doing that. And so can you imagine when I normally do it when I'm waiting for the coffee to be made. All right. So I've sort of got a routine where I do about 10 of them. Jody's saying, I was joyous when I was able to sleep last night. Wow, good, that's good. And also when I was able to get my medical appointments to get to the medical appointment. Yeah. Muffin wouldn't know this, but Jody is almost wheelchair bound, and she now has a problem with one foot that's become a drop foot. It doesn't come back up again when she wants it to. And so she really has a problem getting into the truck to go to her medical appointments. So it's been a real challenge for her. So we were very happy that she was able to do that. How many of you agree with this one, which is be with somebody who inspires you to be naughty? Now, when I think of all the people in my life that inspired me to be naughty, I'd have to say that for some reason, Angela in Las Vegas comes to mind. It wasn't that she was a bad, naughty person, but she really encouraged me to do a lot of things when I was in Vegas that I would not have normally done. And it was interesting. Hi, Sharon. Sharon, meet Muffin from Massachusetts, 37. Sharon saying, my joy this week, I got to go. Oh, you've had 7 days with the family, right? Looking after your parents. Wow. Well, welcome home. That is amazing. So how many of you agree with that? It's really good every now and then to get with somebody who actually is a bit naughty and inspires you to be naughty as well. Because it's good for the soul, I think. So I felt to get 2 tops in 2 weeks was a bit naughty. I normally would only get 1 a month. But I know that I need new tops. And the reason is because once you've had a mastectomy, all my summer tops are low, a low tank tops. All right. They sort of come down here and like this. When you've got a scar that goes from here to here and you lean forward in one of those, you basically are exposing a 12-inch scar to the world. And I didn't want to be doing that. So I realized I was going to have to change all my tops this year. And so that's what I'm in the process of doing. So this is the second one I got. And I will sort of keep doing it until I've got a nice selection. I've got a couple I can still use, but I'm looking for ones that are sleeveless. And most of my ones are short sleeves rather than sleeveless. So that's what I want, is to get a selection of sleeveless ones. And I thought this was a nice little detail here for those of you who are dressmaking type people. Can you see that? It just has like a mini pleat here, and you don't often see that, and it looks cute. And a nice way to create the V, I thought. Anyway, so you will remember that last week, Wade and Yvonne fixed my light, replaced the light in my bedroom. So I got this fancy new light. I cannot tell you what a difference that made to my week. And I didn't really notice how much difference. I mean, other than the fact I could see the floor. But what I really found fascinating was when I did the laundry and I hucked all my laundry onto my bed, which is where I sort my stuff. I was amazed to be able to see it all. It was just like a whole different experience for me. Now, I don't know quite why, but this morning when I got out of my bed, I've got one of those adjustable beds. My adjustable bed didn't go back to its normal flat position. So, that's going to be this week's challenge, to see if I can get that working again. By the way, how many of you have learned how to fold your underwear so that it goes into one of those neat little packages that Marie Kondo does? I don't know about you, but it's one of those things that I've always wanted to do, and I've got it mastered now. Took a bit of thinking, but I've got it mastered. And it's amazing what a difference that makes. It brings me great joy. I mean, she's right. It brings me great joy when I look at all my undies lined up beautifully and all the same size and all looking exactly the same, as opposed to my usual. I don't know what you do with your undies. Do you huck them in a drawer, people? Do you fold them nicely and then put them in a drawer? I mean, I don't know how you do yours, but I always folded mine quite nicely, but they were never like that little package thing. Ah, interesting. Muffin says we definitely need better lighting in our bedroom. So dark in there. And I saw the laundry in my bed. I want to show you the light I got. It was absolutely amazing. It doesn't look like much like this, but it has a double ring of brushed stainless steel, but it has so many different color options to it. It's amazing. And then, um, what else does it do? Oh, it has a night light if you want it. All right. Anybody want to see how to fold your undies? Would that feel like a yucky thing to do? I don't know, but I'm more than happy to show you. You know me. Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Okay. So here we go. If you're somebody who throws your undies into the drawer, that's okay. Here's the first step. The first step you need to learn is how to fold them. I fold mine. I've always folded mine like that, and then like that. So then they're folded, right? And I don't even think about it. I know it's sort of boom, 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 boom. Jody, is that how you fold yours? If so, you are nearly there. These are inside out for some reason. Okay. So here's the way to do it the Mary Kondo way, okay? Which is, and I'm going to do it here, which is to do the same idea, but fold it once, twice. Got that? And then take this bit, Jody, this bit, top bit here, fold it over, which gives you this. And this, when you've got all your undies in, standing upright like this, it's amazing. You want to see it again, Sharon? I've even got it. Hang on a second. I've even learned to fold a hoodie like this. I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so let's do it again. So you do it the normal way, which is boom, boom. Okay, that's pretty easy, right? It's probably the way you already do it. Then instead of just going all the way to the top, which is what I used to do, now go 1/3, 1/3, right? Which will give you the shape you want. And then turn it over, take the top bit, holding it here, turn that over, and straighten it up. Hold on. And the reason I wanted to just show you is because then you end up with a whole lot of them just looking that neat and tidy. And in a drawer, that is amazing how neat and tidy it looks. I think I've got something like 14 pairs of underwear and I can literally just put them all across one drawer like that. Don't you think that's neat? Literally. And if you, and I hope I can remember how to do this one. Okay, if you want to do a hoodie, when thinking about putting stuff away for the winter, the hoodie is really quite simple. Again, be aware of the center line, all right? So this is the center line, and then fold it to there. Fold this to the center line, and put that down there. And then one third, and then you put the hood over the top of it. By the way, if you're thinking of packing to go anywhere, and what you've got is a hoodie. And you could have 3 or 4 hoodies in a row. So, you know it must be simple because Sal can do it. So it's amazing how the sort of new light in my bedroom and learning these little tricks just made folding laundry so much more enjoyable. So I will keep learning more ways to fold things and then let you know about them as I do. Oh, the other thing I really recommend. Do any of you have more Amazon boxes than you care to think about? Because I did find a really good use for them. Hold on a second. Yeah. And really, I couldn't believe how simple this was. And this is what I found out. If you cut your Amazon box into roughly, I would think that's roughly a 12-inch square. Let me check. It's just about a 12-inch square, right? And then take anything you want to fold in your cupboard. And I'm going to do a t-shirt so you can see. Take these out of the way. So I just put it so that the top of the 12-inch square is just at the neckline, right? Make sense? And then fold to the edge like that. Fold that back. Fold like that. And then fold up to the line of the cardboard and up again. And pretty amazing. So now I have my t-shirts like this, and it's easy to pull them out. Why? Because they've got the cardboard. So when I pull it out, it doesn't disrupt all the other t-shirts. Makes sense. So I just hold it underneath and pull it out like this, and the others stay the way I want them. Now, if you've got one that's got a logo on it and you want to be able to identify your ones with logo, by logos, what I found works really well is to be aware of where that logo is. which would be about there. And then what you do is put the top of the cardboard where the logo is, and then your first fold is down to give you that line, and then across. That doesn't look as neat as it normally does. Ah, that would be why. Okay, so then across, and then across again. And now the bottom of the cardboard is here. So you basically got a half fold, and if you need to, just fold in the top. And again, you have got the same thing, but what you've got is you're able to see the logo. And that cost me nothing, right? Absolutely cost me nothing. I just literally took a couple of, department store perfect. They look so good in my cupboard. You want to see? Hang on. So I've got some extra one of these in between here. There you go. So that's how they look in my closet. How many of you are going, no? Now, Marie Kondo would fold them again, and I want to show you what she does when she does it without this, just in case you want to do them that way. She basically does the same thing we did with the undies, except what she does, I'm folding it there because I want to see the logo. All right. And so what she does is she folds them to the center line, slightly different, to the center line. Okay. And then remember, she does things in thirds. So it's a third up, and then the next third. And now you've got this package, and therefore you can put them in a drawer either this way or this way. So you've got a whole series of them. If you can imagine, oh, wait a minute. You know, you've got, instead of them being this deep, I have mine like this, but if you wanted to have them this way, all right? I just like, I don't know why, I find it so easy just to literally do mine and keep them flat, because I've got a section in my closet that is ideal for this thing. So just like that, like that, like that. Turn that back, and then up to the line. Oh, this one's a bit longer. And then it's done. So like anything else, the first couple of times, a little bit challenging maybe, but after it's like anything else in life. Once you know how to do it, it's so simple, and it'll make you wonder why I never did it before. And quite honestly, I have never been somebody who's had neat closets. And now my sweaters are like this. My t-shirts are like this. I hang most of my tops, I must admit. But what I found, here's a trick for tops. If you've got what I call trouser hangers, they're really good for tops like this. Either those ones where you can just thread it through, or the clip-on ones. Really good for tops. And then if you've got those coat hangers that drop down, where you can put about 6 on it and drop it down, you can get one on each side of that. And that's 12 tank tops, taking up no space at all. Amazing. So where were we? So it rained this week, and to my horror, it's going to rain for basically the rest of the month here in British Columbia. The reason I say to my horror was because I've really been looking forward to the fact that I was going to go camping with my friend Marnie at the end of the month. I haven't been camping in years. So I was really looking forward to that. And what I found out is the weekend we're planning to go, it's going to be torrential rain the whole weekend. So I just wrote to her and let her know. So Muffins is saying, I hang a lot of my things. I try to hang them all by color. Really makes it a neater looking. Yes. And the same color hangers as well. Very good idea. The thing that one of my viewers taught me, Muffin, which is a different way, but obviously the way that works for you is important. She taught me to hang my clothes in outfits. In other words, I would hang on one hanger this pair of leggings with this top, all right, and with this cardigan in case I needed it, right? That's what she calls an outfit. Now you're saying, but what if I want to chop and change? Yeah, I do it all the time. But the point is that what you've basically got is 3 things on one hanger, and you also can therefore see the color range for, because by the cardigan color. So I can see, okay, fine. I feel like wearing sort of a black or gray thing today, and it's easy to see because the cardigan will tell me what's with it. All right. Anyway, so what I want to say is I tried that and it works so well for me. So I wash them as an outfit, if you know what I mean, and I hang them as an outfit back again. And also it helps me rotate my outfits. So I will sort of have a blue outfit and a black one, and then, whatever. But then I keep moving them to the right, right? I keep putting the clean ones on. Sorry, I keep moving them to the left. And I keep putting the new ones on the right-hand side. So I know to keep taking clothes from the right-hand side. At the end of the season, whatever is on the right-hand side, and I haven't used all season, the idea is it goes to Goodwill. Doesn't always happen. It's actually a very good idea if you're in a hurry, right? If you don't like spending a lot of time picking your clothes, because you know that and by the way, sometimes, just so that you know, I will hang this, this pair of leggings with this top and another one. All right. So I'll put 2 tops, one sort of clipped onto the hook of the other one. So I've got 2 tops with it. Depends which one I feel like wearing that day. And then I've got even more on the hanger, but it works really well. Now then, how many of you remember my purchase of let me put these away. How long ago did I put this over here? Not very long, right? Maybe 20 minutes ago. All those seeds have already moved. And this is how it was, but I want you to see, look how they're all facing the sun. And that was like in 20 minutes. I'm going to turn it around again so you can see how magical this is. So now they're facing the camera. And before I close the broadcast, we'll check to see if they're standing upright or leaning towards the light. Yeah. Muffin's saying that would be a good idea, if I'm going out for dinner or something. Yeah, exactly. And so what I found is it really saves a lot of time. The other thing that that viewer said to me, Muffin, that I thought was amazing, she said she also decided to completely downsize her wardrobe. I think she has like 7 different outfits, and a couple of changes of tops or something, and that's it. So her closet has basically been completely purged. So there isn't all that choice. It's a case of, oh, it's this outfit today. And it has to be something she enjoys wearing. Otherwise, it doesn't stay in the closet. All right, so I was going to tell you guys, you remember I bought the slicer. I think it would be fair to tell you that this slicer has already paid for itself. What I did this week is when I went shopping and got the Napoleons and the hot cross buns, I bought a block of cheese, maybe this big, by that. All right. And I cut it in half, and I put half in the freezer, but I sliced the other half. Can you see that? I would say I almost halved the cost of marble cheese in doing that. And it wasn't what I call a really big block. It was merely a block about a foot long, I would think. All right. And about 5 inches square. All right. So, and I cut it the sort of size of the cheese slices I would normally buy, which is fairly thin, like that. And I definitely found that first of all, buying sliced cheese was the first thing. I used far less cheese, and also I had portion control. But buy it in a block, slice it yourself with a slicer, saved me nearly 50%. So I just wanted to tell you that because I told you I was going to try and buy a block of cheese and see what the difference was. Just one thing to tell you about. If you're slicing cheese, keep a wet. Hang on a second. Okay. If you're slicing cheese, keep a wet face cloth, and just every now and then, just lubricate the cutting wheel with a little bit of water, and then the cheese cuts really well. The other thing I found, keep rotating the block of cheese. For some reason, my pressure I have this thing here, right? And the block of cheese goes in here. What I found is for some reason my pressure against here isn't quite equal. All right. And therefore, if every couple of slices I rotated the block of cheese, kept it cutting beautifully. So I'm not joking. I think this thing has just about paid for itself, and I haven't had it a month yet. I know it fits in here. No. No. Come on, Sal. No. Pretty sure this bit goes up there. This could be big. Seriously? It always goes in beautifully. That's insane. Why can't I get that back in? Round picture around it, so. Like that, maybe? Yeah? You know why, people? Would help if you do it the right way around. Duh. No wonder it wouldn't fit. Okay. Come on now. So, seriously. Anyway, so definitely continues to be useful. It's not a 9-day wonder. And, you know, that was the thing I worried about, which is it a 9-day wonder? But when I realized what it did for the cheese alone, I was really happy. And so, good idea. All right, let's carry on. Where were we? I can't believe I had that upside down. Yeah. But you know I don't quit. It seems quite sturdy, Jody. Yes, I would agree with you. It is. And it most of it goes in the dishwasher. I have put the blade in the dishwasher, but I normally now just clean it by hand. But most of it goes in the dishwasher, which is good when you need it to be. So what else did I get joy? When I was in the store, I found 4 chicken breasts for $15. And quite honestly, I marinated them for a few hours in soy sauce and lime juice. And then I sliced a few up. And that was, I thought, a really good price. So last night for dinner, I tried to have a protein dinner. So I had sliced chicken with equal amounts of mayo and peanut butter. Really recommend that. Both good protein. And just dipped the chicken in that. So really good protein. So that was a good thing. Anyway, so I thought 4 chicken breasts for $15 was quite a good deal. What do you think? I was happy. So when you think about it, maybe I just needed to have a rest week. And that is okay. And now it's going to rain all week again, and maybe to the end of the month. So how much gardening am I going to get done? Well, I did do some gardening. You know, one of my potatoes sprouted, so I put it in the garden to grow. So it's a case of getting out when it's not raining in between, and it does smell beautiful. There's no doubt about that. And I did go for a walk down to that was a good thing. I went down to the post box. And I think some of you know I've been having trouble with my left hip, which is part of the reason why I wanted to start doing the wall yoga, was to use these hip muscles in a different way. And what I decided, I would go down to the post box, but I would take my walking pole, one of my walking poles with me. And boy, did that make a difference. So I don't know what it is. I must be leaning heavily into my right hip when I walk. All right. And by using the walking stick, I was more balanced. So that was, I think that was the reason why it didn't hurt as much. Another really great dip that is high protein is peanut butter and a drizzle of honey muffin, just in case you want to know. We found that one from Starbucks. By the way, if you want to know how to make a really good protein meal, go to the Starbucks website and see their protein boxes. Jody and I do that all the time. All right. It's just like, every season go and check the Starbucks protein boxes because they show you pictures of it. And it'll give you a really good idea of what the right portion control is and what the right balance is. How many crackers do they put on there? How many? Yeah, great ideas. What do they put on in something? All right, and it's that it's really, even though it may be higher in calories, it's balanced. Okay, so if you haven't ever done it, we recommend it. So the question I have, I guess, is, was I really naughty? I just did the best I could, and that's okay, right? Yeah, that's right. Jody's saying, remember when we first started with the peanut butter and honey dip? Yeah, funny enough, I keep forgetting about it, and I go back to it every now and then. I also found, this is a little stronger than I like it, so I normally put this in about half and half, half this, half regular mayo. But this is the spicy Hellman's. And so, in fact, it's probably 2/3 regular mayo and a squidge of this in there. And it really, very, very nice addition to my fridge. And it lasts a long time. It doesn't take a lot. So it said, I like this. It said, if goodness is its own reward, right? And that's a well-known phrase. Shouldn't we get a little something for being naughty? So what have you bought yourself for Easter? How many of you have bought yourself an Easter treat? And is that being naughty or nice? And the quote here says, Dear Santa, I was really good at being really naughty. Does that count? I like to think that it balances out, right? So I would encourage you to take time. Interesting. Jody's saying, I do that too. I have a chipotle mayo that's much too strong on its own. Yes. And it's just a case, what do you enjoy, right? And do it so you enjoy it. And quite honestly, I'm noticing that as I go through all these changes in my body, I'm also changing what I find interesting to eat. Isn't that weird? I can't believe that they shifted direction just in 20 minutes. That was amazing to me. So there we go. All right, people. So that's just about it for today. But I wanted you to think about that and think about, oh, interesting. Muffin said she bought a new lemon cake from Trader Joe's for the weekend. Yeah. And why not? And by the way, if you are in fear of inhaling it, just freeze a couple of slices. Because I found that if you freeze it, you'll still go and get it, but not as quickly. Hi there, Chris. Good to see you. Chris is saying he got himself a new condo closing next Friday. Wow, how exciting is that? That is really exciting stuff. The joy and also the when would you move in? On Saturday. Wow. It was interesting. And Muffin, it was great to see you. Hope you come back and join us again. Yeah, there's a lot of stress in selling your place, but I was just saying that where I live in my community, and we're all retired folks here, two units went up for sale and they both sold within a day. I mean, literally within 24 hours, they were gone. And so, yeah, happy Easter to you, honey. And just know we're on 3 times a week, so that you know we're also on Friday night at 7 o'clock Pacific, and on Sunday afternoon at 3:30 Pacific. Just so you know, Muffin, in case you want to come back. Um, I like this. Let's be naughty and save Santa the trip. So is it okay? I think it is. I think it's okay to have little moments of joy that bring out the mischievous in you. Like, I haven't done that since I was a kid. Um, I can tell you that, I find little moments where I do things like that. All right, so you got inspection going on today and appraisal on Monday. Yeah, you know something? It's a very stressful time, isn't it? Um, and if all's good, then you move in. Wait a minute, didn't you say that you move in on Saturday? So Saturday week tomorrow. Because you're not moving in before the inspection, I hope. Oh, the inspection is today. The appraisal. Why would you have an appraisal after you've bought it? Oh, on the one that you're selling. Got it, got it, got it. Okay. Well, best of luck to you. I want to tell you, when I sold my house, I went through that 6 times. On the final day, I want to tell you, Chris, I sold at quite the wrong time, but I didn't have a choice. But it took me 6 months to sell my place because I sold it in a down market. But um, I am so grateful, because as it happened, even though I sold it in a down market, this place that I bought has already gone up by a third in the 2 years I've been here, because the market went up again. So I bought this at a low price by comparison. And now, actually, it was higher than most because it had already been renovated. But it was like, the prices escalated incredibly, like a third. And as I said, a unit here goes up for sale. Right. And you know something? It only took you 2 weeks to get your full price. One of the units that sold here sold for more than the asking price in less than 24 hours. Just, gone. It just is absolutely incredible. So did any of you get any joy from watching something? I'm asking because obviously we've got, it's a couple more weeks of rain coming. And so I thought I'd better check with my viewers. What should I be watching, binge watching? Because I'm obviously going to have time to do quite a bit of it. I obviously will be spending more time with my micronutrients. But, if you've seen any movies or anything that were particularly good, let me know so that I can do that. This evening, just so that you know, we're going to be doing an udon bowl. I don't think I've done one of those, if ever, but if I have, it hasn't been for a long time. So I thought I would do that, and I'm going to be doing mine, with the chicken, even though it's Friday. But just obviously the whole point being you can put what you want or nothing at all into an udon bowl. That's the whole thing. You could either have it vegetarian or with seafood or with fish or with whatever you like. And that's the whole joy of them. But I just wanted to show you how easy they are to put together and why it's a good idea to add that into your repertoire every now and then, because it really is. I find, if you keep switching the countries, it helps. Jean is saying, a friend of my daughter came and took her out took her home for coffee and mini quiche. Annie hasn't, oh, that's right, Annie hasn't been out for ages. And she was so happy to get away for the day. Made me delighted. Yes, isn't that nice that somebody did that for Annie? For those of you who don't know, Annie has a fear of leaving the home. So a great, what a nice friend. That's a really good idea. And she obviously feels safe in the friend's house. So that's going from one place to another. I don't know if you ever heard about it, Jeannie, but when we first started broadcasting, one of our greatest moments, I think, in all of the Dear Mama Sal time was we had a viewer who was agoraphobic. And over the course of less than 6 months, she ended up not only leaving her house, she ended up going and getting a driving license. They're doing what she needed to do to get a driving license I would say within a year. And then went to an Adele concert and was in the first 12 rows, if you imagine that. And then went in an aeroplane, went on vacation. And I want to tell you, every time I heard about the next step that she took, I cried. Because I remember when we met her, she not only couldn't go outside the door, she couldn't pass an open door where she could see the outside. Her whole world opened up. And you're right, Jody, it did. And I know when I think back of all the things that have happened while I've been doing Dear Mama Sal, that will always be one of my main things that I remember, other than meeting you guys, of course. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. I hope that you will remember that sometimes being a little bit naughty isn't totally wrong. It's like a vacation, and I recommend it. And so as I work out, what my exercise routine needs to be, I know that putting on weight comes from the kitchen, not from the exercise. So if I don't watch what I do in the kitchen, I'm going to continue to do that. So we'll see you this evening. This is Dear Mama Sal saying, look after one another. Remember to be a little bit naughty this weekend, just for the fun of it. And we'll see you later. Bye-bye for now. Thanks, Jody and Jeannie.